News Talk 760 WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you, or Friday's Eve, if you prefer. It is a new month, a new day, the 1st of October, the 275th day of 2020. There are 91 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we are happy to be with you. And I'll tell you, it's so great to be back home. Thanks to Kevin for helping out the last 3 days. Nothing like sleeping in your own bed, no matter what. And that is the truth. And that's what I got to do last night for the first time since, last Saturday, I guess. But here we are, ready to go, and the team is ready to go, and very happy to have Marie Osborne. She comes in off the bench, does a great job when Dick Hafner is out and about or on vacation. So, Marie, nice to have you back with us. It's been a while. Hope you're well.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Dana Clark is here and taking care of business, traffic, and weather, and whatever else is happening. We appreciate that. Brian Morton in the WJR studios. He's the only one of us in the studios. We're all from home and will be for the foreseeable future, which is, okay by me. We're kind of all used to this now. Our executive producer, Miss Ann Thomas, appears to be back home. Last time I spoke to her, she was at Walloon Lake, which is not a bad place to do the show from. I think you'll agree.
It was beautiful. Good morning, Dub. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. It's great to see you.
October 1st. It's here. Happy October.
1st of October.
There's going to be a full moon tonight.
That makes sense.
I saw a great thing. I think I
The
printed
harvest
about
moon.
the big moon that we're looking forward to here.
Yes, the harvest moon. 2 moons this month.
This is a biggie to have October's full harvest moon lighting up the sky this week. And unlike other full moons, the full harvest moon doesn't correspond to a specific month. Rather, it's what we call the closest full moon to the autumn equinox, which occurred on September 22nd. We were all for that. We were here. Usually the full harvest moon occurs in September, but this year it lands in October. I got the name, according to the Farmer's Almanac, that throughout the year, the moon rises an average of 50 minutes later each day, but, quote, near the autumnal equinox, the difference is only 30 minutes. That means there's much more moonlight in the early evening. This natural light used to help farmers harvest their crops as the daylight hours grew shorter. We get back to that changing the time to daylight savings time. And Dick Hafner passionately hates the idea of changing. And I think there are more and more people who hate the idea. But it just seems like it's one of the things we talk about every year, saying, well, we shouldn't do this anymore. And doctors come on and tell us why we shouldn't and all the other stuff. But we still do. I wonder why.
A lot of things happen like that.
Right. Nobody wants to change.
Change is hard. Oh, the coffee. So, anything happen while I was gone?
No, not much.
Very quiet. You didn't miss a thing, Doug.
That's what I understand. No, I can tell you this.
You didn't miss a thing.
I wish I would have missed what little I did see of the debate. I was in an MRI machine. Can you imagine being in an MRI machine at 8:45 at night?
No.
That's what I was doing. It was not, that wasn't a lot of fun, but it would have been much worse to be out of that machine watching the debate.
How did you do in that machine? I find those machines to be, I'm a little claustrophobic, let's just say.
Well, you know that I'm claustrophobic.
How did you do?
And I tried to get into one of those machines 18 years ago was the last time, and I freaked out. And here's one of the reasons. This is not the technician's fault, but I had my eyes closed. And I was doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, well, I worked all day to put little mirrors and things in there so you can see. You should, test them out. You can see. Once I opened my eyes and saw myself in what appeared to be an elongated tube, even longer because of the mirrors, I said, I got to get out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I did not get an MRI. This time I got an MRI. I'll tell you all about it here. Coming up next at 5:42 on WJR.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
And we're checking our WJR traffic and weather first. Miss Dana Clark.
Traffic first, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. We do have a freeway closure this morning due to police activity, and that is a freeway shooting. Police are on the scene investigating that. 94 westbound between Moross and Chalmers is closed. Traffic and detour 8 Mile westbound to Gratiot southbound. That will get you back to 94. Already seeing delays this morning from Allard. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com has been providing wire and metal shelving, Unirack pallet racking, and space-saving products for 60 years. They now also carry trusted Milwaukee tools to get your warehouse or business equipped for the job at hand. Maximize space and work performance. Visit Shelving.com. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world.
Cloudy today with scattered showers, temperatures again below average, highs mid-60s. Mid-40s tonight, scattered mainly afternoon showers for tomorrow, a little cooler near 60, sunny, cooler mid-50s Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on Newstalk 760 WJR.
All righty, thank you very much. And, of course, Rush Limbaugh with us noon to 3, Monday through Friday. And he stops by first thing in the morning. Right now, as we approach 5:45, we approach Rush.
One of the most jarring moments of first presidential debate between Trump and plugs came during their exchange on the riots in blue cities across the country. Now, Biden declared that the violent radical left-wing group Antifa is an idea, not an organization. He half-quoted testimony from the FBI Director Christopher Wray that Antifa was more of a movement or ideology than an organization. Now, what he forgot to mention, Biden forgetting, it's common, is that the FBI director also testified that Antifa is a real thing that is coalescing regionally into small groups and is among the most violent anarchist extremists under FBI investigation. Now, for anybody who follows the news, there's no debate. Antifa cells have been perpetrating violence and vandalism for years. Self-identified Antifa members committed arson and destroyed property at the Trump inauguration. Portland, Oregon has been under siege by Antifa for months. Now, aside from the nightly riots and arson, they've even tried to set fire to police stations with cops and other people inside. For years, Antifa has been causing violent chaos in Portland and also in Seattle. The main question isn't whether Antifa is an organization or an idea. The only important question is why Democrat mayors and governors have put up with Antifa and haven't called for the federal help they need to crush these violent anti-American extremists. And we know why.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR. All righty, for our friends and family watching us, we still come to you on our WJR Facebook page, YouTube, and all of that. First 45 minutes of the show on camera. We don't have as many people as we usually have at this hour, but maybe they'll be joining us along the way. If you are watching us, which right now you would be, Monday is Pajama Day, Tuesday T-shirt Day, Wednesday Wine Day, and today is Hat Day, which explains all the hats we didn't remember to tell Riri, Marie Osborne. But I said, why would she? You thought it was Wine Day?
Oh,
I
well,
missed
where's the wine then?
Every day is actually wine day to this crew. Yeah. So, what does your hat say, Dana?
Oh, my hat is USA 2002 Olympics.
Beautiful.
That was
Excellent.
in Utah, I believe, long ago. Who knows when we'll see the Olympics again? So
yeah, that's the truth. Don't know.
Yep.
Annie Banani. Oh, she was,
Okay,
I'm
Annie, we
always
got to
giving
get
a
you some
plug
more hats.
for the Paul W. Smith
It's my
Golf Classic.
favorite hat, and
Oh,
also
God bless you.
it's a good way to plug it because
Yeah.
we're now raising money all year long for that for
Oh.
Paul's pals.
Okay.
Except
And
they
it's
call it
just a nice
something else now.
effort.
What do they call it now? Not Paul's Pals.
I
They,
believe we call it Paul W. Smith Cares.
yeah, that,
Paul
and
W. Smith
it makes
Cares.
more sense because that's what Larry Burns has. When he asked if he could help, he's got the whole thing going. They do this cares thing all the time, and it's working. So that's all good news.
Paul W.'s Caring for Kids.
Paul W. is caring for kids,
And
which
you
you go
can donate.
paulwsmithgolf.com.
Yes.
paulwsmithgolf.com, and you can donate. And we appreciate all the help you do. We did 450,000. I don't know what we did net this year, but it was a lot. So that the four charities each got over $100,000, which makes us feel good. Reaching out, touching about 55,000 kids. My hat I picked up in Germany. It's very odd. In fact, as I look at myself online here, it reminds me of a hat I had to wear when I played Perchik. In what the heck play was it that had Tevye?
Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler. I couldn't think of what the heck the play was. Fiddler on the Roof. I played Tevye. No, my dad played Tevye. I played Perchik. That's all I remember. Anyway, the hat is weird. It's a smaller build hat, and it's from helping out at the 50th anniversary of Plastipack Packaging with Bill Young. We traveled around the world to some of his plants, and I did interviews with his customers and with his people at his various plants. And I picked up this hat that says on it Plastipack, but you can't, it's very, it's very hard to read. It's like it's tastefully on there, but you know how some of those things are, like some shirts have big logos and some have just very quiet little logos. Same thing with this shirt. And it says Plastipack Lux PET, which is a kind of process in plastic that they use in their
You're
business.
hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
It is 5:50. We're not going to talk a lot about the debate because I presume you guys probably talked about it nonstop the day after, because how could you not talk about it without, everybody talked about it. But coming back to my stack of papers, if people said it was a brawl or certainly it was unbecoming of a presidential debate, and it was embarrassing for everybody, all sides, I hope. But it wasn't a shock, because look at the front page the morning of the debate. Trump and Biden brace for onstage brawl. Guess what? They had an onstage brawl. And that's what the newspaper said they were going to have the morning of the so-called debate. But I liked this one sent to me by the girl next door when I was growing up, Marie Merman, on Tremont Street in Monroe. And she wrote, "Is it possible to both pray Trump is reelected and look forward to his last day in office? God help us," she writes. God help us. Well, that's interesting. A lot of different sentiment. I have nothing else to add unless somebody else wants to continue to talk about that. I'm happy to move on at this point. But we do have a shooting possibly, Dana, not far from my house, 94 in Moross. It's the way I used to go into the radio station. I'd get on the expressway around.
There was a freeway. Well, there's a investigation because of that freeway shooting. So police have shut that down. Marie probably has a little more info about it. According to MSP, someone said they didn't know why someone was targeted. So I guess someone was shot at. Marie, do you have any more info?
I have what you have, Dana, that there is someone reporting that they were shot at while they were on the freeway. It doesn't appear that anyone was hurt, although that has not been confirmed. And state police are keeping pretty mum on this right now. I'm sure we'll get a little more information as the morning progresses. So,
the one thing that we all think about in a situation like that is, I mean, we hope no one does any shooting anywhere, but we do hope that it's somebody who knows somebody who's has some kind of a fight or a bone to pick or something else, because we don't want to start having random shootings. Been there, done that. We just don't need.
That's scary.
Nobody needs anything like that. We got enough stuff to be scared about. Or as we used to say, scared. Why did we say I'm a scared? Why did we say scared? Where did that ever come from? Because we were little? That's why I called my brother Mark Ba. I guess I couldn't. I don't know what else I could say at that age. Of course, I was 21 then. But I do have one thing that came out after the presidential debate, along with all the rest of the horrific stuff. But I would have thought that it would have had huge numbers. I would have thought that people were going to tune in record numbers to watch this because of the battle and because of we didn't know if Vice President Biden was going to forget where he was or fall off the stage or something, and we didn't know what President Trump would do, the brawler that he is. And yet they had 10 million fewer viewers than the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
That's interesting. Now, does that include streaming numbers? I
don't know how they. I do not know how they judge streaming and what it gets included with, whether it's included with the Nielsen TV ratings or whatever ratings we have now. Is there a name for our ratings in radio anymore?
Nielsen
used to be Arbitron.
Right. They're the PPM Nielsen ratings.
Oh, they are. Nielsen's taken over all ratings then.
Yes.
But whatever.
That would be interesting to see because so many people get their TV now in a different way.
It says here, presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump across 8 networks Tuesday night. So 8 networks has got to be more than the networks we're aware of ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN, MSNBC. Well, no, I guess that you start to count them. There's 8 of those.
About right. Yeah.
So you're right. I don't know. I don't believe that they counted that, but I am still amazed that there were 10 million fewer. But what does that mean? It means there are 10 million more people who don't give a doggone about this election.
Or they've already decided.
I still thought they would tune in. If they decided, I thought they would tune in to root their person on, whoever they were deciding for. I think it's 10 million people who don't care. 10 million people who have kind of said, you know what? Who cares? It's a done deal. What difference does it make? Whatever they thought, they didn't care enough to tune in on at least on these 8 networks. 10 million people. That's a lot of people. And there are more people. Aren't there more people in the world now than there were the voting age in 2016? 4 more years have gone by and whatever. I don't know. I just found that fascinating because I thought that it was the kind of thing that was going to get a lot more. A lot of people thought. I'm sure President Trump has already said it was the biggest audience in history. I haven't heard. I've been traveling, so I have no idea. But I can predict these. Yeah, I can't predict these things. This was the largest viewed thing in the history of television.
Yes, there was a tweet just like that yesterday, Paul. So you are right. How did you guess?
How did I guess that? So Yuengling beer was discussed on this program, and for people who like beer, apparently Yuengling's a premium kind of beer that was not available here. Remember the old days when we were younger? It was Coors beer. Does anyone remember that?
Oh yeah.
Remember when Coors was a big deal because you couldn't buy it here. So somebody had to bring it. Somebody had to smuggle it into Michigan, and they'd bring the Coors. And you go, "Wow, Coors! You've got Coors?" It came from like Colorado or something. Well, it kind of got that way with Yuengling, and Yuengling Hershey's chocolate beer is back, and this time you can actually get it in stores. Yuengling Hershey's Porter.
Sounds good.
Do you like that? I don't know. I know a lot of people like. I love chocolate, and I'm not a huge beer drinker, but I'll drink some beer. But chocolate and beer, I must.
Chocolate and anything, Paul.
All right, I'll buy that. Chocolate and anything. 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
And we've got our WJR traffic and weather first, Miss Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. Police investigating a freeway shooting along 94 westbound, which is shut down between Moross and Chalmers. Traffic now stopped from Vernier. You can take this detour 8 Mile westbound to Gratiot southbound back to 94. And now a vehicle fire along 75 southbound at Livernois. The right lane is blocked. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Operating Engineers 324. Operating Engineers 324 run the heavy equipment that's building Michigan's roads. Remember to slow down, pay attention in work zones. For the workers' safety and yours, OE324, we build, we operate, we maintain. Visit OE324.org. Well, yes, fall is here for sure. Actually broke down and turned on the heat the other day.
Oh, man.
I know, it's here. More rain expected today. Clear skies, 47 degrees. Could see a rumble or two of thunder, a high of 61 tonight. Chance of a shower during the evening, then partly cloudy. Your low 41. For Friday, hey, we get a little bit of a warm up, partly cloudy, a high of 55. Once again, currently 47 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in 1 minute.
There's another story out there that Ann and I have been talking about off air, and we did talk about it on air when we had Joe Vicari, and that is a lot of restaurants are struggling, obviously, but a lot of them have danced as fast as they can and came up with outdoor dining, which pretty much saved the opportunity to not just get to-go stuff and carry out. It's been outdoor dining, so we've been wondering aloud and asking different people, what the heck? What are you going to do when it's winter? And there's another big story on the AP. Cold weather means new challenges for struggling restaurants. So Ann has asked our good friend Luciano Del Signore, who has a whole bunch of restaurants, to come on today and talk to us about what his plans are.
And he's got some cool plans. Doesn't he have like a plan for a
outside
almost
tent?
like
He called them igloos.
Oh, yeah.
And Dana, you said you've seen him downtown already in some of these restaurants, and then I saw him on some national, either I don't know, newspaper story, whatever. These little plastic see-through kind of igloos. And so last time we saw him there, that's what he's doing, and so we'll let him explain it.
But what about that's still kind of an enclosed area. And
Ventilation.
What about ventilation? Because Dr. Frank McGeorge is coming on this morning, and he's addressing this ventilation issue. So he's talking about the aerosols. And
I hate the use of aerosols.
I know you do. You should ask him about that.
Yeah, because we never called when we're coughing, when we're breathing, whatever, the aerosols. The aerosols were cans of spray. That's what aerosols were. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, aerosols are just the air around us. And last night on the news, they talked about just exactly what we're doing. Who knew talk radio could be deadly? Because just talking apparently is shooting aerosols way into. I hope my neighbors are sleeping so they're not catching my aerosols while I talk. I don't know.
So Paul, I looked this up for you. Aerosols are a form of a mist characterized by highly respirable, minute liquid particles.
But you'll agree with me that nobody has used that term that way until just recently.
Absolutely.
Recently.
Yes. Oh, now Mark says, so Mark, one of our viewers this morning says, yes, they're enclosures with heaters. The windows are vented
Okay.
The
Right.
ones he visited. There's clearly got to be ventilation.
Yes.
Gotta be
Gotta have
circulation.
that
Yeah.
The waiter would come, the wait person would come to the table and everyone's at the very least sleeping.
That would be something that Paul and I would worry about.
Yes,
So
indeed.
we would get into the place and we would start thinking about, is this properly vented?
Yeah.
Are we going to die of carbon monoxide poisoning?
I'm
because of
I'm the
being-
guy sitting in the chair in the snow talking to my family in the bubble.
And I'm right there next to him.
Ann and I are freezing but breathing.
I take worrying to a whole new
level.
Well, yeah.
If Ann and I ever got married,
Oh
we
God,
wouldn't leave the house.
it wouldn't last.
It would be bad.
Yeah, it'd be really bad. It wouldn't be good. We do worry in a similar way.
It is
And
very.
that's funny because I'm the conspiracy person.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
Yes.
big time.
She is the conspiracy
like,
person. Yeah.
What is happening? What's going on? Who's
Yeah.
why is that
Who's-
person saying
Who's behind this?
Right.
What in the world? A couple of things. Sadly, this is the day. I don't know if we'll talk wildly or widely. Even we have our little family that gets to see the conversations behind the scenes here on however you're watching us on social media. But today's the day that gunman opened fire from a room at the Mandalay Bay Casino
Oh,
on a crowd of 22,000 country music fans.
yeah. Oh, sad.
58 people
Mm.
It was
dead,
terrible.
more than 800 injured. And then the 64-year-old Stephen Craig Paddock killed himself before officers arrived. That was this day in 2017.
So 3 years ago.
Yeah. A little bit longer ago, another note that affects all of us. In 1908, Henry Ford introduced his Model T automobile to the market. Now, we had Ford on our roadshow. We had FCA on our roadshow. Is tomorrow Toyota? Toyota. So tomorrow it's our Toyota roadshow. All right.
And then the next Friday is our GM roadshow.
So it's been a good way for us to make up for the auto shows that have not existed this year, and many of them are going to go away forever. We've been predicting that for a long time. But what's happened with our auto show is, because of this little battle that goes on, what happened in Los Angeles, where they jumped in to kind of steal position between the New York and Detroit auto show, gave Detroit and Rod Alberts a chance to move and go back into the fall and get the best of both worlds, and also not be encumbered and locked in with 3 auto shows in a row, which I think is going to help us be even healthier into what is not arguably is the most important auto show in the world, the
No, I
North
think-
American International
Right.
Auto Show.
It's great what they're doing. I think
I
it's
think
going to
so,
be really
too.
good for us. Beautiful time of year.
Mhm.
It's just going to be really nice.
Other notes on this day in history: 1957, the motto "In God We Trust" began appearing on U.S. paper currency, and some people started complaining right away, especially atheists. But I got no problem with "In God We Trust" on our money. In 1962, Johnny Carson debuted as host of NBC's Tonight Show, beginning a nearly 30-year run. I used to sneak downstairs and lay on the floor just outside the den at our old house, and I would watch Johnny Carson when I was supposed to be long asleep because I had school the next day. That's how
So you've
much
been
I
staying
loved
up late your entire life.
it. I've been staying up late and getting up early, and I
You're a
see.
night owl.
I am a night owl. Kim is a morning lark. Ann is a morning lark. I don't know. Are you
I'm
guys
morning.
morning lark?
News
Morning.
Talk
Hurry.
760 WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you. It's or Friday's Eve if you prefer. It is the 1st of October, a new month here. Big moon. 275th day of 2020. There are 91 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. Sometimes you have to remind yourself. I have to remind myself from time to time. But the truth is, each day is a gift. Meanwhile, the team is here. Of course, Marie is in off the bench, as she does quite often, in for our WJR News Director, Dick Hafner. Thank you for that news. Good morning to you. Of course, Dana Clark taking care of business with traffic and weather. She's been busy already with the roadways and a possible shooting near 94 and Moross. We'll get details as they become. Yep, we'll get details as they become available. It just went away just before I talked about it, but the black screen, which I used to say is where Brian Morton was behind, he put in a picture now. Did you notice? I did.
Yes, I like the board. It looks good.
He has a picture of the board that he deals with. He plays like a piano. And,
he sure does.
And sometimes he takes a hammer to it. But and then, of course, our executive producer, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb.
This day in 1971, Walt Disney World opened near Orlando, Florida. And not long after that, I did a broadcast there. It's this beautiful, brand new Walt Disney World. It was really mind-blowing and incredible. And now, unfortunately, it's mind-blowing and incredible that the Walt Disney Company has to lay off 28,000 people in what has to be one of the largest layoffs in our lives. And I hope there are not more, but I fear there will be because of this COVID. Who would have thought that a company as strong as the Walt Disney World, but think about it, their parks have always been a very important part of their income. They used to own us and some broadcast properties. I don't know what they own now, but they also made money at the movies because they would make great movies, and now they're not able to do that, or at least bring the money in like they did. So it just starts to make sense. Even a huge company like the Walt Disney Company is hurting in a very big way.
So I'm reading that in California, the parks are still closed. In Florida, they've opened on a limited basis, but a lot of people haven't come to visit, mostly because they're concerned about flying.
Of course.
Yeah. There's another company that's had to lay off companies that combined have laid off more than 28,000 people, the airlines. Really.
And also, Paul, here closer to home, Ilitch Holdings is laying off people at Tigers, Red Wings, the entertainment venues, the Fox. Ilitches are undergoing this massive, and they had been paying their employees all this time.
Right. Well, I thought, and you'll correct me on this, I thought Christopher Ilitch said they were, maybe this is over now, but they were going to try to at least maintain the insurance for all those employees. I don't know. I something along the way, I thought I heard him say something like that. But the other thing is, a lot of these employees are not full-time insured employees, you know.
Exactly. From what I have here is that the furloughed employees will still receive benefits, but I think we need further clarification on that.
Well, here's what I can clarify. No company in the world can continue to do that if they don't if they don't start getting business going. And nobody can do that. I think it's admirable that Christopher Ilitch and the team, the family of Ilitch companies would do the best they can to do that. But let's be realistic. And I don't think it's really completely struck home for everybody just how many companies are not going to make it. I'm not referring to the Ilitch companies. I'm just saying big companies that we've always known. I mean, we're kind of numb to it now. The companies that have gone by the wayside and aren't coming back.
And I think we're getting numb to the number of people that are continuing to die. It's just over 200,000. And it's like, wow, it's a really, really sad time.
It's the kind of story we don't ever want to get used to.
Right.
You know, we don't want to get used to carjackings. We don't want to get used to shootings at cars on expressways. We don't want to get used to a lot of stuff.
Too much in 2020.
Yeah, well, 2020 is
been awful.
We can't wait to get out of it, but we're not we're not sure that 2021 is going to be any better. It reminds me of this. I told you guys this story before. Marie, you may not have heard this. I used to go to the pediatrician with Sophie on her medical regular things you did with little babies, little kids. And I decided, becoming a father at 50, that I wasn't buying into the terrible twos. I thought, you know what? That's ridiculous. I'm just not gonna buy into it, and everything will be fine. P.S. The terrible twos were unbelievably bad. I mean, they were bad. And so I go to Dr. Abaraji, her pediatrician, and she's getting close to turning 3. And I said to Dr. Abaraji, Doctor, I got to tell you something. I didn't believe in the terrible twos, but oh my God, they've been absolutely terrible. I can't tell you how happy I am that Sophie's about to turn 3. And he says, Paul W., didn't anyone tell you? I said, tell me what? A 3-year-old is merely a professional 2-year-old.
That's funny. And let's not talk about 13 when that happened.
Yeah, nobody. Well, no, people did warn me about the teenage years. The first time you notice that everything you say, your child looks up and goes, uh-huh.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, no, I don't think so. No,
Right,
I don't think
right.
so. And you go,
And the eye rolling starts.
yes.
One of our boys famously told my husband when he was 2 years old, "You're not the boss of me."
Yes.
Oh my God. At 2.
He was 2, and he's still like that. By the way, he's still like that.
Oh, that is hilarious.
And said, Maria, I work in an office all day, and all I have to do is say, would you mind getting this for me? Or can we do this? In other words, he was he owned his own business. So people did what he asked. He goes, I come home and it's anarchy.
Well, it's funny because everybody has that kind of family dynamic. And I remember speaking with one of Justice Scalia's sons. In fact, I think I asked them both. I said, you have to understand something. To us, they're Supreme Court justice. To you, they're dad. So you've probably had more interesting arguments with your dad that you might have even won that other people have never had, because you have a different level of input as their son or daughter or whatever, of any number of people, CEOs, company managers, foremen, whatever. It's a different world when you get home. That's the truth.
Exactly right.
I see the governor signed a $62.7 billion Michigan budget for 2021 while I was gone. Was that a big argument? Was there a lot of, or were people upset with what was in it? I have no idea.
I don't think so. I think she worked that out with Republican lawmakers. So I think it was a bipartisan budget, actually. Worked out very well.
Also says on today's Detroit News front page, Whitmer shifts divisive nursing home policy. But of course, what she was following, at least the way I understood it and was told, she was following the World Health Organization and all the rest of the other people who failed us during this pandemic. So now she's going to care centers to be dedicated solely to COVID-19 needs. Of course, now, in hindsight, everybody is saying that's what it should have happened in the beginning. But the people who were in the know that were telling us all what to do, who were wrong, she was following those instructions. In fact, people did around the country, and for that matter, around the world, which ended up meaning we sacrificed a lot of elderly people at the altar of COVID-19. Now I hear the music here, 6:15. That means we've got our WJR traffic and weather coming up in just a moment. First, a little note here.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
45 degrees, and we do indeed have the WJR traffic and weather first, and Dana Clark.
So we've got a couple of things, unfortunately, happening this Thursday morning, 75 southbound at Livernois. We have a vehicle fire that is blocking the right lane. Then we have a closure along 94 westbound between Ross and Chalmers. Police on the scene investigating a freeway shooting. So that is closed. You can take 8 Mile westbound to Gratiot southbound. That will get you back to 94. Traffic continues to back up there, now seeing delays from 8 Mile. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Scattered showers today and cool. Temperatures only reaching the mid-60s this afternoon. All the way down into the mid-40s tonight. Scattered mainly afternoon showers for tomorrow, cooler near 60. Sunshine, cooler mid-50s Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
It is 6:17 on this Thursday morning.